What you're about to watch is part of an online training that I do twice a month inside my Movement Makers program, where I coach entrepreneurs like you how to build an online movement, how to make money from it, and use it to make a huge impact on the world. Enjoy. Content strategy. So the content strategy is how do we pick great topics and how do we get people to consistently follow through on watching our videos? So first thing to look at is length. So how long should a video be? People always ask me, how long should a video be? Ideally, it's 10 minutes plus. And we've been talking about this, in trainings and trying to kind of push that into at least 10 minutes, 10 minutes plus, 10 minutes plus, 10 minutes plus. But there is no upper limit. There is no upper limit. If you can go for 3 hours, go for 3 hours. We're seeing the biggest growth in the 1 to 3 hour category. Not live streams, and we can talk about that if you guys want, but actual recorded videos that you upload that are 1 to 3 hours is the biggest growth segment right now in thought leadership on YouTube. 1 to 3 hours are pretty OP, says Drew. OP means overpowered for the non-gamers out there. Chrissy says, does the 5 minutes have anything to do with it? Longer is better. Longer is definitely better. So I would, if you can make a better video, if his video is 5 and you can go 45, talk about the same thing, you will do better. That's super interesting. I thought it should be shorter. The first minute really matters, and I'll talk about that, but overall longer is better. So if I pull up Anita's channel, these are decent videos. These are long. Her new ones are long, right? 28 minutes, 49 minutes, 28 minutes. Her most recent 3 that I pulled up last night. Some of her older ones, I think these were just clips from her show, a minute. These are all basically 1 minute clips from the show. Until you get to here, which are longer sessions again. These 1 minute clips are basically dead. If you're going to do YouTube shorts, cool, that can work. Those are vertical videos and they have to be under 1 minute. But these videos are basically dead. 1 minute videos don't go anywhere on YouTube inside Thought Leadership. Now, her old ones here, she also has an hour-long video and she's got a 40-minute video. And this is interesting. So here this was a presentation she did to, I don't know if they were local women business owners or entrepreneurs or what the theme was, but this was her presenting on a topic. And the beginning was even really long, delayed because nothing happened at the start and there was a long introduction and then she came on. But long videos, if you can go long, amazing. In this style of doing interviews with people, this is how Joe Rogan blew up. Is making 3 hour episodes, 2.5 hour episodes, 4 hour episodes. So if you can go longer, Anita, with any of these people, I would go longer for sure. And I would look at doing more stuff like this as well, where you're presenting or speaking, or just direct to camera stuff as well, where you can go and kind of deep dive masterclass on something because you have a good chance. People will watch if they're learning. People are watching if they're learning. I don't want to overwhelm and stress everybody out. So if you're like, hey, make a 1 hour video 7 days a week, you're like, Evan, I'm going to rip out my hair and look like you if I do that. So, we have to build a sustainable model in here. 15 minutes are great, but 10 minutes is the minimum. And the whole idea of saying 1 to 3 hours is you don't need to cut it off. So some of these, it looks like her interviews, Anita's been really, they're all about the same, 28, 23, 28, 25, 28, 30. So these interview shows are all kind of that same length. And maybe she's cut off. Maybe Anita has restrictions. She's using the studio. Maybe she has to get in and out on a certain time. Maybe there's other reasons for it. She says, I was aiming for 28:30. So I don't know where that number comes from, but if you're having great guests on and having great conversations, the hardest part is getting people to click and then watch the first minute. After that, they'll continue to watch for the most part. And so if you're having great conversations, I would not end it early. Obviously pay attention to your health and, you're not going too crazy and 4 hour interviews are burning you out. That's a real thing. But if you can go long with anybody, do not be afraid to go long. Do not cut it short just because you feel like it has to be short. Longer videos are popping off. The next is the retention curve. So this is the most important part of the YouTube analytics to look at. And there's so many things you can get lost in with YouTube analytics that I don't want you to worry about and stress out about. I love geeking out about it. I know Drew loves geeking out about it. But you don't have to stress out about all the analytics. The most important one is this, the audience retention curve, which shows you where people are falling off. So the goal should be, and this is a really hard number to hit, especially consistently, 70% at 1 minute. So here on this video, at 1 minute was 73% audience retention. And this is what your audience retention curve should look like. This basically means where are people falling off? When people are watching your video, you should look at this video. You should look at the stats for your videos. This really, 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 really matters. If you've been eating something or getting distracted by something right now as we've been talking, or I see Edge on his bike, crushing it, getting this workout in. This is important. Focus on this. Look at the curve for your videos because it shows you what your audience is leaving you for. So where are people bouncing on your videos? What did you say? What did you do where people are losing interest in your videos? This will help you make better videos. So it's not just about what you think would look good. It's not just about what I think might be good. It's what people who are on YouTube are actually saying about your video without them watching, without them typing in the chat. Nobody's going to come and type in the chat and said, hey, you know what? At the 15-second mark, it got kind of boring, so I left. Nobody's giving you that direct feedback, but this curve will give you that feedback and show you where your videos are falling apart. Okay. So anytime where it's like this flat line or increase, these are really good moments. People rewound that part to watch it again. But in general, you should ideally see this slow curve where you're slowly losing people over time. That's okay. But for the most part, we see big drops, especially at the beginning part of a video. And, Nita can look at hers and all of you can look at your own as well. If you see a big drop, then if you're I've seen some channels where it's like 15% at 1 minute. So you've lost 85% of the people in the first minute of your video. So this is where short attention span really matters. If you're at 85% after the first minute, you could have an hour-long video that is basically a waste of time because you've lost almost all of your audience right at the beginning. So we've trained in the past about powerful opinion and thought leadership templates, and we can revisit some of that content as well. We're not going to deep dive on that in this one, just out of interest of time. But paying attention to your audience retention curve, and as you test different things, you need to hook people for that first minute. And then once they're in for a minute, they're most likely going to stick and slowly watch the rest of it. So that really, really matters. You can look at this. This is free. This is no added product. This is all built within YouTube. It shows you for every single video on your channel. You can look at it. And it's really good data to pay attention to. This is the most important data to pay attention to, because if people are watching your videos, YouTube will reward you more. Remember YouTube's goal, keep you on YouTube all day long, right? So if you're helping keep them on YouTube, YouTube will reward you. This was an example of a bad video. So here she was doing a dancing routine. She called it Let's Dance. But she didn't start dancing until here. So, 1 minute, it was 22% retention. That's really bad. And people are like, fast forward. It's like, oh, where's the dance? It's calling it dance. I want to see you dance. So at the beginning, she's not even on. At the beginning of the video, it's just her apartment. Now, this is a really bad example. This is probably not what most of you are doing. But it's really worth paying attention to. So if you see a curve like this, like, wow, I lost 75% of my audience in the first minute, but then I did something good here, and then I did something good here. You know what to improve and you know what to fix. And this is on a video by video basis, not on the whole channel. It's video by video you can see. So if you want to test a different intro, so you know what, this time I'm going to stand up, or this time I'm going to dance, or this time I'm going to channel Zayn the man and have more confidence and energy coming through, or this time I'm going to lead with a question, or this time I'm going to start with a powerful opinion. All of those things are great experiments, and the data will then show you what people like and don't like. So it's this matching of what you want to do with what works. I don't want to give you something that feels super uncomfortable, that is against your brand or is not in line with your values. Cool. Don't do that. But inside of the things that you do want to do, what actually works? And this is the data that will show you. So you should be looking at all your videos and look at the retention curve and see where you're at. If you want another awesome video in our Black Excellence series, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.